Okay, we are live in period 4 here. Period 4 check-in. Period 4. Oh, they're so quiet. Anyway, this is part 2. Part 2 of HolidayFL. Part 2, option 1. This is where you're just going to make a basic 2-frame GIF, animated GIF. So it just flips between the two images, Pumpkin Man and Snowman. We're going to do that in Photoshop. So we actually have to get this exported out to Photoshop. So I'm going to go up here. You like mine? Yeah, you like it? Pretty good, huh? So I'm going to go up here to File. Oh, first of all, make sure that the eyes are on both layers. Otherwise, that layer won't come across. It doesn't matter if you have them locked or not. That doesn't matter. But make sure that both eyes are on. Okay, and also make sure you only have those 2 layers. Okay, and we want to go up here to so I meant Pumpkin layer and Pumpkin Man layer and the Snowman layer. Look at the end of training video part 1 for this assignment to see how to merge your multiple layers into the one layer for each of the graphic images that you made. Okay, so you should have those 2, just those 2 layers. Now we're going to go over here to File, Export, Export As. A little bit different from what we've been doing in the past. So File, Export, Export As. Remember, you can pause, rewind, or fast forward any part of this video that you need. Okay, you either have this view or you have this view, but I want to make sure that you're going into Documents and the format needs to be changed to Photoshop document. Please make sure you carefully check this. PSD. PSD. Photoshop document. Okay? Photoshop. It's got to say the word Photoshop here. Document. And in the Documents folder. Click Export. Okay? And click OK. All right, and we're done with Illustrator. So let's go up to Illustrator and quit Illustrator. And go ahead and save it just to be careful, just to be on the safe side. And now we're going to go into Photoshop. We go to Photoshop. Well, we're waiting. Well, we're waiting. It's almost here. Here it comes. There we go. And I want to go File, Open. Make sure you're in Documents, go find your HolidayFL, and make sure it's the PSD one, right? And click Open. All right, so you should have 2, yes, I said 2 layers here, a Pumpkin Man layer and a Snowman layer. And if you notice, I went outside of the document lines, and I've got a lot of lines, artwork, and stuff spilled out onto the artboard that came over. And so I don't want that. I want to crop out all that checkerboard and extra stuff that came across. So I'm going to go to the crop tool and click, and I'm going to bring, as best I can, I'm going to bring those edges in so that I've got all that extra stuff cut out, and then click the check. Okay? Good, now we're ready. So I'm going to right click over each layer, right click, and I'm going to left click on Convert to Smart Object. Do that for the Pumpkin Man, and I'm going to do that for the Snowman. Okay? And that's really important. This won't work unless you do that. All right, so now I've got these 2 guys ready to go. You can see it has a little icon that indicates they're smart objects, right? All right. So we need to turn this into an animated GIF, and to do that we need the video timeline. So I'm going to go up to Window up here, Window, And I'm going to go to timeline. Turn that on. And here's our timeline. Now yours might say video timeline. You can click that little drop down arrow, switch it to frame animation, create frame animation. And it's a button actually, so you click it and you will see one of the layers right here. But we need both layers, not just one. So I'm going to go over here to these 4 dashed lines in top right corner of every panel has this, because there's all kinds of extra stuff you could do with that panel from there. And I want to go where it says make frames from layers. Okay, make frames from layers. And now you can see I've got my 2 frames here. I've got my snowman and my pumpkin man. It doesn't matter what order they're in. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click the little play here. And you can see that rapidly changes between the two. So let me stop that. And let's maybe slow this down a little bit. So I'm going to go down to these settings that we see down here. And I'm going to set 1 second, 1.0 seconds for my snowman. And I'm going to set my pumpkin man to 1 second. Okay. And I want to make sure that this says forever so that it loops between the two. Now if I click play, it's going to jump between the two, 1 second each. All right, this is exactly what we want. Click pause, and we are now ready to export this to get it on your your animation page. You're going to put it on your animation page. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go File, just like I normally do. Export, and save for Web Legacy. File, export, save for Web Legacy. I want to see the whole thing, so I'm going to click right here, click that drop down arrow. I'm going to go to fit on screen. No. Okay, that's fine. Why not? You can also go fit in view too. Okay, that's the same thing. Now I'm going to come up here and I want to make sure I click on this GIF. GIF 128 dithered. Okay, that's fine. Any GIF, any of these GIFs, but I'm going with the top one. And I want to make sure I uncheck transparency just in case you have some clear pixels in your document. We don't want those to show the background of your web page. We want that to just be white if that's the case. So make sure you uncheck that for now. And we want the width of this to be 300. And we want to make sure the looping options still say forever. Okay, make sure it says forever. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Click save. Oh, if you want to preview it, of course, you can preview it just by clicking play here. See, that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so we're going to click save. And make sure it's HolidayFL.gif in your documents. You don't add the .gif. That was done over here, right? And we're going to click save. And we're going to click, well, you won't get that, but I'll replace the one I had already. And that's it. So now you can go up to Photoshop and quit Photoshop. And of course, you should always save just in case. And go to Wix and put it on your animation page labeled as HolidayFL. So make sure it's Wix, animation page, HolidayFL, labeled, and don't resize it. Keep it at 300 pixels wide. All right? Good job. You've completed this. And thank you, period 4, for all your support.